Hey, what up, hockey fans? A lot going on. Welcome to the Puckcast. I'm Gary. This is James. Bryn is not with us tonight. I think she's out traveling the world somewhere. Hopefully she's back next time with us. But we talk NHL hockey. And, of course, we focus on our team, our squad, our new team, the Utah Hockey. I don't know if it's club, team, what it's going to be yet till we get our mascot. But anyway, before we go into some stuff, we just finished watching the Boston Leafs game. Boston loses. It's 3-3. Saturday night, game 7. Any first impressions, James?
I don't know what's happening with Boston. I honestly, they're up 3-1. It's a mirror of last year when they choked against Carolina.
Florida last year.
Florida, excuse me, the Panthers. Yeah, it's unbelievable. The games that they've won, they've just looked like an absolute dominant team. And then the games that they've lost, I'm watching them going, it's like two totally different teams. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Chokorama. I'm just
Toronto's got all the momentum too.
This game, you can't play intense for one period. And that's how I kind of saw. They had some points there in the second period, but it's like you get into this defensive mode so much that it sort of takes away your energy, your skating, your intensity.
Yeah.
I don't know. They didn't have it till the third, and it wasn't enough. And here we go. So
yeah, I think that they had like one shot on goal. I mean, it's for half the game practically. I mean, it was incredible. And so you're right. And then they killed off that 4-minute penalty, which that's great. And a lot of that time that leads to some momentum, but they only played one period. It felt like, and you're right. It wasn't enough. Hey, and I am not a Toronto fan by any means, but I will give Toronto a lot of credit. You know, they have come out. I thought they were dead in the water. Right. You see they were game 4. They're yelling at each other on the bench, or game 5, whatever that was. They're yelling at each other on the bench, and they're after it. And you just think, okay, the wheels have fallen off. It's time to book some tea times, boys, and head on down to Cancun. But hey, I'll give them a ton of credit. They've come back, dude. But I thought tonight was the night. I thought Boston would get them tonight. Shows what I know.
I still think Boston gets them back there. Back in Massachusetts. I think they do it.
Dude, tonight, after watching that game, it just, I don't know. And Toronto's doing it without Matthews in the lineup. The leading goal scorer in the NHL. It's incredible. I don't know. I'm shocked.
Hey, where's Pasternak, by the way? Is that guy feel like that guy needs to step up. But all right. Of course, it's playoff time. So we're talking playoffs, but before we get there, let's talk a few things surrounding the Utah hockey team. You mentioned this to me, James. I don't know, a week ago. So Wisniewski, sports writer, ESPN, big wig, I guess. Very smart hockey person, he writes. Put this in his head recently. To Utah, Mitch Marner. To Toronto, Clayton Keller. What do you think about that? Are you for it, against it?
I've never been a Mitch Marner fan. I don't know why. He especially in postseason, the guy just disappears. I think he's got 1 goal this series. I could be wrong, but no. If I'm Utah and this comes across my desk, no. I think the upside for Clayton Keller is so much higher than Mitch Marner. And look, I get Mitch Marner's a really good hockey player. I understand that, but no, I'm not taking that, especially 1-1. I think that Toronto would win that trade. I think that Clayton Keller in Toronto would do really good things. But no. What about you? What do you think?
Not interested. Not interested at all. I think the guy started a rumor. I don't believe we're giving up Clayton Keller. No. Just for information. So this is the stats for Clayton Keller last year. 33 goals, 43 assists, 76 points. Now, he was minus 20, the plus minus, not good, but the whole team had some issues defensively. The total 76 points, 33 and 43. In comparison to Marner, 26 goals. So he had more goals. Marner had 59 assists, and he was a plus 21 on a high-powered offense. Now, he was a line mate to Matthews, who put 69 goals in. So if you're playing on Matthews' line, you're going to be getting a bunch of assists.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty convinced I could probably end the season with 25 assists if Matthews. I mean, seriously. Yeah, Matthews is on my line. You get it to his stick. He's going to do some magic with it. So, yeah, I mean, on paper, you're going, okay, yeah, this guy has more points, better plus minus. But you got to look at but not much. And you got to look at the entirety of the picture, right? You got to look at what team he was on, who was his line mates, who was the goaltender, right? You got to look at all of these things. And I wouldn't make that trade. Now, the Utah hockey team has not contacted me for my opinion, but that is my opinion.
No way, not interested. All right, well, okay, here's something else interesting. So here is, can you see that? Can you read that?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's the salary cap for next year, if you look at it, which is very, very interesting. Utah, now this is, of course, had when it was Arizona, but for the 24-25 season, the best cap space is Utah. With $43 million of cap space. So, Utah with the talent, young talent we have. Hey, we got some money to go out and do some purchasing. I will just say this, and it's kind of a sad thing, but the team we saw roll in here off the plane is not going to be the full team, simply because of this cap. Because they're going to be going out to get some players.
Yeah, we've got a ton of cap space, which is awesome. For some context with, people that maybe aren't super familiar, the NHL, the superstars, they're not making NBA or NFL superstar money, right?
No.
Players that are great are, making, what's $13, $14 million. So there's a lot of cap space here to be had. A lot of cap space. So they can go out and get some dudes, and they've got draft capital too. So you're right. I agree with you. The team that, if you watched any of them last year, the guys that got off the plane, that's not who we're going to be seeing. We're going to be adding some pieces, and it's really exciting. It's really exciting.
It's exciting.
Now who's available, right? Who's available? Who's a free agent? Who can you go get that can make immediate impacts? That's all the things that they're working through right now. But
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, it's great.
But we're going to get some. We have the ability.
Yep.
Like I was looking at some other teams, and as for instance, you can look it up, but like the LA Kings, who just got wiped out by the Oilers, they don't have a lot of cap space, I don't believe. So they're kind of in a box here. Now they made the playoffs. I get it. Had a better record. I'm just saying for the future, hey, Utah, we should be excited with what we have.
Agreed.
Okay. I'm not sure if people are familiar with this, but you'll notice that Connor Ingram is one of the 3 finalists for the Bill Masterson Memorial Trophy in the NHL. So Connor Ingram's our goalie. And this award is given annually in the NHL to the player, and I quote, who best exemplifies the qualities of perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to ice hockey. In other words, it's guys who have come through some adversity and come back and had success. They've gone through some bad stuff and have come back. Now, in the case of Connor Ingram, he had an OCD disorder and some depression issues, as I understand it, which almost put him out of the league. But he got some help from the league. He's claimed off waivers by Arizona in October of 2022. So he was on the team. He became the starting goalie for 23 and 2024 for the Coyotes. His record was 23, 21, and 3 with a record of 2.91 goals against. In other words, he became the starter. Congratulations to him for the battle he fought and has overcome a lot of stuff. Got back into the league, became the starting goalie in the NHL. So let's hope he gets that. Let's hope he wins it. It'd be great.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, the fact that he can acknowledge that he needed some help, obtains it, and then fights to get back into the league, right? Like that's incredible. Just to make it to the league is a tremendous accomplishment on its own, right? Anyone who's played a sport knows it's unbelievably challenging to make it to this level, especially as a goaltender. Like you think about goaltenders. There's 32 teams in the NHL. There's 32 spots in the world to be one of the best. This guy's able to accomplish that. And then on top of that, battle through the things that he had to battle through, has come out on the other side. It's incredible. Yeah.
It's cool. All right, let's talk the playoffs, where we're at. We're almost, so we only got one. No. Tomorrow is Nashville, Vancouver, and then we have a game 7 on Saturday night.
We still have Dallas, Vegas too. That was still going on. Can't forget.
Woo. Okay, we'll talk about that. Here's how I want to lead into the playoffs, though, and talk about some of those games, James.
Okay,
I want to stop right here, blast that in there. As we know, Washington got blown out by the Rangers. 4 games, wasn't even close. I called it in 5. I thought that'd be a miracle. But Ovi had no points in 4 games.
Doesn't shock me, though. It doesn't shock me.
Not a point, man. Not an assist.
But how many total goals? I don't know the answer to this. But
I don't know that.
Total goals did they have? Right? I mean, there was if you watched that series, the chances were so limited. Right? The Rangers defense was just smothering. Goaltending there, it wasn't even close. So the opportunities to get a point were just so limited. The puck was in the Capitals defensive zone the entire game, it felt like, whenever you watched that series. So the only opportunity that he really had was on power plays, and they couldn't even get the puck in the freaking zone half the time on power plays. It would be dump and chase, and then they'd get it. Rangers would get it, fling it out, and it would start all over. So it's disappointing. I'm an Ovi fan.
At least
I'm an Ovi guy. I've always liked him. In my opinion, I think he'll break the record. He's gonna stick around as long as it takes. But it is too bad that their playoff run was kind of what we expected, but you would hope that he goes out and maybe gets, 2 or 3, puts on a show, and then they're booted. But no, it doesn't surprise me, though.
It surprises me. No points. They have no chance of winning if Ovi doesn't put anything up. He started off the season terribly.
Yeah, he did.
He got it going. And his production was a big factor of getting them in the playoffs, and then it dried up. Now, I don't think they're ever going to win it, but 0 points for Alex Ovechkin. Wow, that says a lot. I'm sure we'll have plenty to say about the Capitals, their future, and the future of Ovi and stuff like that, but we can talk about that at another time. So let's go to the playoffs. So here's the brackets as to where we're at. Well, as of earlier today, as we know now, it's 3-3 at the Boston, Toronto. Let's go to the East. Let's talk about the East. Florida beat Tampa Bay 4-1. Any thoughts on that?
The Tampa reign is over. They need to do some things, which is it's kind of sad, right? Like Steven Stamkos, it could have been his last game as a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I thought that series would be tighter than that. I picked Florida. I thought it would go 6. But man, when you watch that series, Florida, they're dangerous. They just kind of picked up right where they left off last year, going to the finals. And so, I don't know what else to say.
The winner of Boston, Toronto plays Florida. Honestly, I take Florida. Whoever
I'll take
comes
Florida.
Florida. Okay, so you've got So we talked Rangers, Washington, Carolina took out the Islanders. Again,
Oh man.
that was not a surprise at all.
No, it wasn't a surprise, but the way that those games went down, Islanders fans, how are you doing? You know, you're up, and then all of a sudden, 9 seconds later, you're losing. It with
Oh
a
yeah, that
minute
one
left.
game was horrific.
And then even the elimination game, it was tight, and then bang bang, 2 goals within what 8 seconds in that game, and then it's over. So it's those. That's the thing. I'm looking at this, and yeah, they beat them in 5 games, but the games were actually pretty dang close. And the Islanders, they had some chances. They had some chances to win some games. Now that being said, Carolina, better team.
Carolina's better.
That's what I picked. So Carolina Rangers, what are you thinking, Gary? How are you feeling about that one?
I haven't decided on that. I actually still, right now, I'm kind of leaning toward Carolina. Is there a big, heavy team? So that's where I'm headed. I don't know, man. It's hard to read it, but Shesterkin, dude's been. I mean, it's hard to read because Washington really wasn't a threat.
Mm-mm.
And I guess you could sort of say that about the Islanders, but I don't know. My first inclination is the Hurricanes going into that round.
Yeah.
Let's go to the West. Dallas, Vegas. Dallas up 3-2. Vegas to me looked like the old Vegas in the first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
And the last 3. I mean, even if they've been close, it's like they've slid out of what they were. I don't see what they were last year. I felt like I saw them early. Now it's like it's caught up to them, and they're not the machine that we know Vegas to be. That's how I see it.
I feel like a lot of that, though, goes back the credit to Dallas for kind of creating that, because you're right. The first 2 games, it was just like, okay, these guys are a machine again. They just playoffs, turned it on, off they go, and they're going to storm through the West. And then Dallas, credit, they made some adjustments. They shifted up their lines. They've done some things. Ottinger has looked fantastic the last 3 games. And Dallas winning 3 in a row and on the brink of knocking Vegas out. What is that game, tomorrow or
Tomorrow.
Saturday? I can't remember. Tomorrow. That's been there's only a couple series left, but man, that has been a fun series. And yeah, Ottinger has been standing on his head. They're winning the goaltending battle right now. They're winning the goaltending. I think Dallas gets them. I think Dallas ends it.
I think it's hard to say if Vegas somehow got that machine well-oiled again and all the parts working together, but
yeah,
as it looks right now, I don't see it. I'm going with Dallas, who will go up against Colorado, who took out Winnipeg in 5 games, dude. I had I picked Winnipeg. I missed it by a mile. Did you? I thought, what happened to Winnipeg, man? They were a top D defensive squad, and they got blown up.
Yeah,
by Colorado.
I'm with you. I picked Winnipeg. I thought they had the better goaltender. Like that first game was wild, and you even said, you're like, this is Georgiev. This is who he's going to be. He's going to give up goals, and then all of a sudden the dude just flipped a switch and just went full playoff mode.
Okay,
there you go, dude. Look at that,
Georgiev.
It's unbelievable.
Look, after that, when he came in, so there you go. In four games, went 4-0, a 940 save percentage.
It's unreal.
2 goals a game with that offense. 4-0. That's
I'm telling you right now, Gary, the Avalanche, they're scary. They are humming. They got some dudes. McKinnon is he's lightning in a bottle. Makar, best defenseman in the league, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, come on. I'm telling you, if Georgiev can keep playing in that fashion, they'll make it to the final. If he can play like that, they are on a fast track to the final. Now, if he slips up and it starts to struggle, that's where they're going to have that downfall. But man, that series, whoever they play, whether it's Dallas, whether it's Vegas, that could be fantastic.
Who wins Vancouver, Nashville at this point?
You know, I'm cheering for
Your
Nashville.
third stringer, third goalie in.
Yes. I picked Vancouver to start. I'll say this. I picked Vancouver. I'm cheering for Nashville. When I watch the game, I find myself rooting for Nashville. But I just think Vancouver, I think Vancouver's going to end it. I don't know if that goes to 7. Yeah, it's crazy. Third string goaltender. But I think that Vancouver just has just enough to get past them.
I think it goes 7. I wouldn't be surprised by the upset, to be honest with you. With the injuries, even if DeSmith comes back, I don't know. If Nashville can go, they're going back to Nashville. So if they can pull that out and make it to game 7, hey man, who knows?
Who knows?
All right. Edmonton took out the Kings 4-1. Impressions of that series. I found that weird, so strange the way those games. I mean, you said when we were texting each other regarding Edmonton, you said you've never seen a team that's so bipolar.
I'm telling you.
Explain.
Well, I mean, it's like one game they're just flying. The defense is locked in. Skinner's just, he's locked in. And the offense is just buzzing, tape to tape back of the net. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. And then the very next game, defensive breakdowns. Skinner doesn't know which direction to face. They can't hit the net. And then, they lose in overtime. And you're kind of going, okay, like it's 1-1 going back to LA. And then boom, they flip it back to the other side and light it up again. I'm telling you, Edmonton, if they can just lock in and keep it strong defensively, then they're dangerous. And I think they have a pretty dang easy path to the Western Conference Final. I think that whoever comes out of Vancouver, Nashville, I'm taking Edmonton. But
yeah, I'm taking him to the conference final.
I'll take him to the conference final, and I got to see what happens with the other series. But if they can keep it going, they're dangerous. But I swear, I'm sitting there watching them going, is this the same freaking team?
I don't know, man. We'll have to see. I mean, from series to series, game to game. Come on. A lot of times things are just different. But the Kings 5-on-5 outscored Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
Edmonton won on their power play that series. Now, maybe that was the strategy. Well, maybe it was the strategy at the end, the way they played it. I thought it was kind of dangerous because you're sort of playing into the hands of the Kings, the way they played, and that ugly, crappy 1-3-1 sloppy stuff. Hey, but they beat the Kings at the Kings game in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
But it came down to the power play. And I don't think that you can rely on that going forward. I don't care who they end up playing. Obviously, you have to be able to play good D to win a Stanley Cup. But I don't see if they're going to be this. I looked at them as passive. When you got Draisaitl and McDavid, Hyman, all these dudes to play as passive as they did in the last couple of games against something. They can't do it against Colorado. I get it. You got to play defense, but you got good defense is being in the O zone as well and making the other team play defense. You just can't be in your own zone getting peppered by a million shots. That's what would happen against the Colorado. But I guess we got to wait to get there.
Yeah, I mean, they still got to get past Nashville or Vancouver, whoever comes out of that.
Yeah,
but offensively, they had strikes, and then you're exactly right. Special teams, they dominated. Special teams,
power play is unbelievable, man.
The power play is incredible because you're right. There's 3 dudes that McDavid can hit with the puck, or he can bury it himself. And Draisaitl can shoot it from such crazy angles that he can be lined up on the freaking goal line and still bury it. So you got to be careful. You got to be wary of that. But you're right. As the playoffs go on, you can't just be reliant on your power play exclusively because it's just the way that games go, you might get one power play opportunity in an entire game. And if you're relying that heavily, you're in trouble.
Maybe you've seen this. Here's the odds as of today from let's see,
Okay.
at least 3 different betting lines. But The lineup's pretty much the same.
Wow. Okay. I have not seen this.
They're a bit different, but at least the order is the same. As I look at it real quick, is that right? I think that's right. But anyway, Hurricanes, Oilers, which I got to say I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
Panthers, then the Avalanche, Stars, Rangers, Bruins, Canucks, Leafs, Knights, and Predators.
Wow.
I was extremely surprised by that. So, hey, if you're a bettor, look them up because, to be honest with you, I wouldn't put. I know we have some Oiler fans that follow us, some Oiler people we know. I wouldn't bet on the Oilers winning this thing, even with that.
No, the Oilers that high really surprises me. It really surprises me. I'll say that what surprises me more is the Rangers in what, 6th place? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. The Rangers that far down.
Yeah.
I would have put them 3 spots higher. Now, what do I know? I mean, I'm a nobody. But the Rangers that low is kind of surprising. And even the Avalanche behind the Oilers. That's, I mean, I don't know.
It'll be interesting. I mean, I looked at what before the playoffs started, this exact same thing, and yeah, it moves all over the place. It changes, so it'll be interesting. Even with these next few games, it'll be played. But anyway, that's it, of some interest. Look at it. I'm with you though. I'm a bit surprised on the order there. Okay, let me just ask you on this. So there's the Vezina finalists. It is the top goalie in the league. Now, that's to be voted on just for the regular season stuff, not the playoffs. But as I look at the 3, Hellebuck, let me say this about Hellebuck, dude. He got lit up. They scored 5 goals a game on him. That was terrible. I know it's a team defensive problem, but come on, man. 5 goals, not good. Demko, he got hurt, not even in it for playoffs, I'm saying, and at the end of the season. And Bobrovsky, Bob, who's playing great.
Yeah.
I don't know how you cannot vote with being influenced a little bit by the playoffs. I don't know how guys do it necessarily, but honestly, if you get influenced by the playoffs, you got to go with Sergei Bobrovsky. But they're not. That's not. They won't.
No, it's a regular season award, and it's just, which makes sense, but it's also kind of too bad because the playoffs are what matter, right? The playoffs are what we care about, and so to have exclusively a regular season award, I don't know. Let the playoffs matter in it too, in my opinion. But for me, yes, in the playoffs, Bobrovsky's been unbelievable. He's been fantastic.
He's on his game, man. He's
almost unbeatable right now. If I'm giving this as a regular season exclusively award, though, probably Demko. I think that his regular season was great, especially for the team was very surprising. The other 2 guys, you kind of know what to expect. Demko, not so much. I think I wouldn't say he came out of nowhere, but he surprised a lot of people. And when he got hurt, that sucked. That was really unfortunate. You know,
I think I'm
first game
leaning toward Hellebuck to win the Vezina this year.
Which is crazy because you're right. He got absolutely lit up.
It was bad.
It was bad.
All right, hockey fans, check us out. Of course, this is on YouTube. You can also find the podcast on audio platforms all over the place. Check us out on Instagram, on Twitter. Interact with us. We always appreciate that, your comments, good and bad. Sometimes we'll bring you on in on the, or at least read your stuff on the pod. Maybe not. Depends what you say. But anyway, the greatest game, greatest playoffs for sure are going on right now. We hope you're enjoying the NHL playoffs. We've got some great hockey yet in the first round, though they'll be over by this weekend. And then round 2 begins next week. So, all right. Thanks for checking us out. and let's enjoy the hockey.